little a little video by request how to navigate the Galaxy map using a PlayStation controller. It can be a bit confusing. I remember when I first started doing it, I was just kind of whizzing about all over the place, no idea what I was doing. Couldn't get if I had a specific system that I wanted to target and zoom in on, I was always missing it. It would disappear into the ether. I didn't understand how I could get to it. And as ED gives you nothing, it's only the player community that kind of gets together from time to time and just like, okay, look, you've got this issue. So this is how we're going to solve it. So first off is accessing the Galaxy map. If you're completely new to this, on the PlayStation controller, you can get to it in a number of ways. My personal favourite is the bottom left-hand corner of the touchpad, and it's such a personal favourite that that's wearing away quite badly. So, bottom left-hand corner of the touchpad brings up the navigation panel. Bottom left-hand corner of the touchpad again gets rid of the navigation panel. So, bottom left-hand corner, touchpad, navigation panel, X Galaxy map. So far, so straightforward. Galaxy map. The marvellous, wondrous thing that is the Galaxy map. At the moment, you can see where I am, and you can see that I have got friends around here, look. No ringmates at the moment. You can see that I've got a ship stored where I am at the moment, which is HR1183 down in the Pleiades. Down in the Pleiades, in amongst all of those bashed up stations. And that's all great. And that's where we are at the moment. And you can, at this level of zoom, actually, while we can see this, it's worth mentioning. Do you see this? If I zoom right in, we've got the detail of all the stars that are nearby. I have, incidentally, got the Galaxy map configured at the moment to show the scoopable stars, the O, B, A, F, G, K and M stars, and non-sequence stars, because I've got that selected as an option should I wish to use neutron jumps. So, otherwise, this, incidentally, much easier to remember if you've not come across this acronym before, KGB foam. Those are the scoopable stars. If you get caught out and the fuel rats come and rescue you, they will tell you about KGB foam. Select KGB foam and apply to route. That way, if you have a fuel scoop, you won't ever be in trouble. That's that first view there, look. So anyway, I'm getting off the point. So what I want to do for this actually is bring everybody back so that we can see everything. No need to apply to route, because what we want to do at the moment is, because it's this little thing is about finding your way around the Galaxy map, we need to be able to see everything. So at the moment we're looking at my position. I'll come back to what I was about to mention in a second. We can see where I am, you can see the broken stations, we can see the trade route. As I'm about to go somewhere, you can also see the start of my plotted route and the solid orange line taking me off across the galaxy, across the stars, and I'm just kind of rotating until I reach the point where I run out of fuel, or at least I would do if there wasn't a fuel star there, and then the dotted line after that, which tells me that I can't go any further than that at the moment on my current tank, but that fuel star would solve that problem. Anyway, so that's what we can see at the moment. We can see all the stars, we can see those things I've just mentioned. We've got my friends icon, we've got my ship storage icon, and the bookmarks of the stations and systems in this area that I'm interested in. So, and you can see the stars, all of those blue lines. If you're not familiar with this and you've not seen it before, those are the stars I can reach with a single jump in this ship at the moment. And you can see if I come out, they start to come to an end, look. and that's as far as I could get in a single jump if I wanted to just use the limit of my range to get to a star. That's as far as I could get with one jump. So, and you can see that forms that web. So that's that kind of ball-like web of things I can jump to. And if I come out a little bit more, you can also see, you can see now that there's a kind of a ball that forms around that central point, a ball of stars. And it's useful to know where that is at around this kind of zoom level, because that'll help us in a minute when it comes to navigating. So, starting point, what I've been doing for control so far is left 2, zooms out, right 2, zooms in on PlayStation 4 controller. Right stick to the right, rotates that way, right stick to the left, rotates that way. So clockwise, anti-clockwise, pretty much as you'd expect. Right stick forward, tilts up, right stick downwards, tilts downwards, relative to the galactic plane. So relative to the if you imagine the galaxy has a it has like has a plane running through the center of it, a flat plane running through the center of it. That's the galactic plane, and we'll come out in a minute and you can see the various levels at which that exists. But relative to the galactic plane, right stick up rotates you upwards around it up to 90 degrees from your current point, and similarly right stick down minus 100 degrees, 180 degrees downwards relative to the galactic plane. And you can see that because of that little marker that we've got in front of us. So it's a circle with the arrows on it, and I know that I'm either directly above or below it. At the moment it's not immediately clear, but I can mess about and find that out, and you can see it's flattening out, and you can't see that it's a circle with arrows anymore. And we go the other way and go, okay, fine, I'm looking directly down now, so I know where I am. And if I left 2 and zoom out, there's that ball again, right 2, zoom out, zoom in, more and more detail, until we get right tight in my current location. And because I can reach a very large number of stars from where I am at the moment, I'm kind of obscured by all of these jump lines. So it's actually a little easier to see what's going on if I come out. And that's a kind of nice level to be at. And at the moment I'm rotating around right stick to show you. Left stick we'll move on to, slides you across the galactic plane, left or right or left, relative to the rotation you've just selected on the right stick. Similarly, the left stick will go forward and back relative to your rotation. So because it's the PlayStation controller, none of these things are absolutely left and right, and none of them are absolutely up. So if I spin the stick round, then that happens. The left stick, if I spin the right stick around, that happens. So that's, you combine the two, and if you rotate them in the same direction, you get that kind of movement. If you rotate them opposingly, you get a kind of a weird little wobble where you don't really go anywhere. So those are your navigation tools on the galactic plane. But the galaxy isn't two-dimensional. Galaxy goes up, galaxy goes down. And if I want to go down, zooming is only going to bring me to where I am, the central point, the middle of that circle, effectively, to the highest resolution, is what R2 will do. That's all it will do. It won't take me down. And to go down, it's our friend touchpad. So bottom left hand corner of the touchpad takes you down, top right hand corner takes you up the galactic plane. And you can keep going up, keep going up, and keep going up, and keep going up, and keep going up, and keep going up. Now, I want to get back down again. And you can see, look, if I do the right stick up and down thing, so I go down, you can see my little circle with its arrows on is now higher above the point, the blue marker that points my current location than it was previously. So, and I can illustrate that, and I can go right the way down, look. Now that illustrates another fact, another thing about the way the Galaxy Map navigation works. The further zoomed out you are, the faster and the more extreme the movement. So if you want to home in on something, you need to start wide and come in small. Otherwise, what happens is you move very tiny distances. I can illustrate this by coming in again. You move very tiny distances, and that's full movement. And full movement, and you can really get confusing. Hang on a minute, where am I? What the hell's going on? And it's very easy to kind of get confused. I think I don't know where I am. So start large, so you can see where you are relative to where you want to be, and you come in a bit and think, okay, I know I'm too high in the galactic plane here. I'm going to zoom down. Oh look, that's beginning to light up a bit. I'm going to move my right stick up so I know where, and there we are. So I found out where I am. Each of the stars has got a little kind of location stick on it, which helps you to understand where you are up and down the plane relative to the location of the star. So at the moment, the plane position, and you can just see the grid below. There we go. Look, if you look below, there's a grid which has all the coordinates on it. You can go, if you use that, if I come on, it's like that. And we use the touchpad going using the top right button of the touchpad, top right corner of the touchpad. You can see that the stick kind of shortens until it kind of disappears, and then we can keep going on the top right, and we move up the galactic plane, and the stick follows us until we're out of range of it. Same thing both ways, down and up. Bottom left, touchpad, bottom right touchpad. So that, and we're looking for this stick to help us find our random thing, if we want to find a random thing. Navigation, so you can see the plane, the numbers on the plane a bit more clearly now. And the plane, it's cubic, and it works both ways. So as we go down, you can see the numbers changing, look, in the foreground. And if we go up, they're climbing back up again, and you can see which part of the galactic plane, which plane you're on, until you go all the way to the top. If I zoom all the way out, we can get to the top much more quickly. There we go. So we're right at the top of the galactic plane. We're still on top of our original position. We haven't gone anywhere except for straight up. And we're now looking down on it directly, level underneath it directly, and you can see the numbers change direction too, which helps you to orientate whether or not you're looking down or up. And it's particularly useful. Keep an eye on the numbers if you're out on the galactic rim and there's not many stars to go by, and it's really easy to kind of get confused. Use that. So let's go back down again. At least a bit, and you can see we've gone off. It's very, very easy to go off when you start moving around on at that kind of level of zoom, because you're covering vast distances. Now remember that although that looked like I was moving, I wasn't. All I'm doing is rotating. So that looks like I'm moving. Don't be fooled. That I'm actually using right stick up, right stick down, which is the rotation. That doesn't become obvious until quite a while, and then you think, oh, okay, that's what's happened. So I'm all the way down here now. How did I get down here? And then you can come back to that again, and you think, oh, hang on a minute. am I back again or am I not back again? No, you're not. You're looking directly down now on that position that you'd picked on the plane. So a nice little kind of oblique angle of around about 30 or 40 degrees is quite useful for working out where you are. Zoom out of that angle. Move along a bit. Come up, but only a tiny bit, because any more than that at this range will, if we zoom in, look, think, oh okay, I haven't got that. I'm got where I thought I was going to go. Zoom in a bit, still quite low, so come out and you can see, zoom in a bit, oh we're still quite low, so let's move back and move up, and then we're beginning to get there again now, but it's kind of by degrees. So, and we're still, you can see the plane we're on because the numbers are showing, and you can see that that plane is well below. So let's move up until the plane comes close to where we think, where the cluster of stars that we want to be at is, and it's not. Look, you can see, we've zoomed in on it, but you can see, we can see at the moment that the grid that shows the plane is way above where we actually want to be. So actually, using the D-pad top right hand corner, we've come up too high, so we need to D-pad bottom left corner, but this is taking forever. Where are we and what's going on? So we need to come back out again, move over, zoom, so we've gone down again, zoom back out, come back, zoom in, come back. There's our bubble. Now remember I said earlier that the bubble of stars begins to appear around a point. The bubble of stars really helps you work out where you are. We've got the bubble of stars has become visible, so that means we are pretty much on the right plane. Not perfect, but we're in the right kind of area to get to where we want. And all you do is move up the plane and zoom, and move up the plane and zoom until you find the little sticks begin to appear. So what's happened here is I've come into my maximum zoom and I've moved up. You can see the grid. I'm too high, but we're quite close now, so we could stay at maximum zoom and drop down, and there, look, is the stick. So we're still up above it, but we could now select that star. But if you want to make this nice and tidy, zoom down, move down the plane, and zoom out a bit, because that's just too tight really to be of any use. I like to look at it like kind of like that. That looks about right. So we've been able to locate our position again, imagining that, you know, we couldn't do it any other way. Most of the time you can do it other ways, but not always. So here's an example of that. And why do I need to do all this messing about? Well, sometimes you might want to be out here. So here's a relatively recent route that I took out to the galactic rim. And as you can see, now remember, zooming in to work out where we are, we're looking for that bubble of stars. One thing that's immediately obvious, doesn't matter how tight you go, and there's the grid, and it gets bigger and bigger and bigger. You zoom out, and we're zooming in, and you think, I can't see anything. There's, oh look, there's a star. There's no bubble of stars, because out here they're really thin on the ground. But I want to get to that star. I've just seen that star. I'm out on the rim, and I'm doing the great exploration. And I've just caught that star. I can see it, but I want to plot a route to it. And how am I going to do that? I don't really know. You know, if I could lose this really easily if I zoom out. So it's kind of there. I don't dare move the stick at the moment. I zoom back in again until we see it again. But you have to be very careful because you can lose them very easily. There it is. Not the blue one, it's that one. Oh, there it is. So what I know immediately is if I'm zooming in, remember I'm zooming in from up above it at the moment. So if I'm zooming in, and as I zoom in, it disappears, I know that my my galactic navigation marker here is below it. So I'm located, currently, I'm zooming in on a point on the galactic plane that's below the star that I want to select. So if we come out of it, find it again. So I know that, that's great. And I also know, because it disappears kind of quite close to where I am, look, there it goes. It's not that far off. So if I use right stick, left stick, you can kind of work out that I'm that way over to it a bit, and you can move around and think, okay, trying to find out where it is on a vertical plane, so we've got some idea of where it is on a horizontal plane. It's kind of around here somewhere. It's more or less right, and you can use right stick and left stick to sort of more or less center on its location. It's not that critical that you do that at this stage. Some people like to do it this way. And that can start you on the process. But the main thing you need to do is work out where that zoom is that it appears. Move up the plane a bit. There it is. It's bigger, it's brighter. I can still see that the plane is below it that I'm on. So we still need to come up a bit. So it's right, top right corner of the pad, and zoom in. Oh look, there it is. So I've been able to find that completely random star, and I can plot my route to it now. Although it's at that distance, that's going to take a while. But anyway, that's not the point. The point is, now I can zoom in and out on it with abandon because I know exactly where it is. So I can left stick, right stick, and we're there. So let's do that again. Let's come out. Let's do this right from scratch, shall we? Close out. Go to the galaxy map. Find a random star. Oh, I know. Let's have a bit of fun with this. There's Beagle Point. So I'm way up above the galactic plane, and I want to select Beagle Point. There's good old Beagle Point, all the way over there. Obviously can't plot to it, but what I want to do is find a position that's kind of 45 degrees, 40 degrees-ish, and set my marker. I think that's where Beagle Point is. I'm pretty sure I'm on the wrong galactic plane. Actually, it looks like it's okay, so maybe I'm not. So I've gone down to have a look, back up to have a look again, zoom in, and don't move the thing, just zoom in, and actually that's worked out okay. There it is. So I move over, and I can see from the grid I'm slightly below it. So move up a bit, zoom in, change the grid, and there's the stick. So I can see that I'm kind of high actually. So let's just bring that down, zoom out, bring that down a bit, up to I think so I like it, and we found Beagle Point. So it really is the easiest way to find random stars, somewhere completely random out on the rim. I was only just about finding a star. Let's zoom in, see what we can see. Squeak if you see a star. I can't see anything. Any stars? If I was a star, where was I hiding? Come on, hide. Come on, star. Come on. I know you're here. Come on. There's got to be stars here somewhere. There aren't going to be very many, but there is going to be a star here somewhere. So again, looking for a star. I'm 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 still looking for a star. Come on. There's got to be one here somewhere. Won't find one at that range. Ah, look, no, that's not one. That's another galactic phenomena. Oh, look, there's a nice little nebula. Okay, so we've got a nebula. That's another thing to find. So where's that nebula? Well, that's well below us, isn't it? There it is. Look. So our right stick up and down. That works out. That helps us work out where it is. So I know it's below me, kind of more or less. So let's pick that. So at 45 degrees-ish, roughly over the top of it. Pad, bottom left-hand corner, move down. I think that might be right. Let's zoom and find out. Whoops, I've gone through it, so I'm actually low down. Look if you can see that. I've gone through it. So that means I'm actually below the nebula. So let's come up a touch. Do that. You can still see I'm below it. Come up. Zoom in. That's now way over it. In that direction. But I'm getting closer. So that's the plane I'm on, intersecting the nebula. And that puts my little doodah just a tiny bit below it. So for the purposes of finding stars in the nebula, that's not bad. There's a nice red one there. So let's go up the plane, rotate upwards so that we can get a good zoom on it. It's disappeared a bit because we're right on top of it. Look at that. There we go, move the plane down because I like that aesthetically. So we've been able to find a completely random star by a simple combination of moving up and down the plane, bottom left hand corner of the touchpad, top right hand corner of the touchpad, zooming and rotating on all the planes available. And that plane grid is critical for helping us find out where we are relative to what we want to attach ourselves to, which in this case is that. So that is my simple, hopefully slightly less confusing introduction to galaxy map navigation on PS4 using the PS4 controller. So now I better get back to everyone because I noticed when I dropped in before that everybody's asking me questions. So thanks for watching. I hope you find it useful. Feel free to leave some comments and I'll see you guys soon. Bye.